Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the C Kappa Invitationals. We've got only one best of one today, and it's down in the lower bracket. We've got SGR going up against the Bangkok.Dynamos. I believe both of these teams qualified through the qualifiers, and we're down to the best of one. This is where it gets a little bit tricky. There's no safety net here. Loser of this one humble game will be heading home a little bit early in the bracket. And actually, speaking of the bracket, let's take a glance. There you go. We're right down there in round 2, right below first departure in G7. The winner of this series will be awaiting team G7, I believe, in that next round there, round 3. So let's go ahead and hop in the draft here, see what these teams are working on. Now, remember, these are qualifier teams, so you never know what you're going to get, I guess, as they say. Could be good, could be a little shoddy. I'm going to turn up my in-game sounds here because I got a comment about that yesterday and forgot to mess with that last night. I'm going to go up just a little hair there. Hopefully all that audio is nice and balanced. But thank you for joining us on this fine morning for more C Kappa coverage on moonducktv.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, so what are we looking at here? Initial bans looking fairly
Radiant
straightforward.
team
Bangkok.Dynamo take out the Outworld Devourer as well as the Earth Spirit. And the SG Rejects take out that little Dryad as well as the Invoker. Now, interestingly enough, the SG Rejects will go with the first pick, Faceless Void, and Bangkok will strike back with Tusk Oracle as their opener. 3 heroes that pretty much we have seen seldom throughout the earlier stages of this tournament. Though I do recognize the name Mikasa over there on the Bangkok Dynamos. I'm not sure if that's the Mikasa that I'm actually thinking of because that is like a pretty popular name. But, oh, yes, the team my boy Chains, Z-Red. Yeah, I remember the Rejects. Good stuff. So off-lane Faceless Void, nothing too surprising about it. Blink Dagger, Vladimir off-rank, those kind of builds. Pretty good. I think Void fits that role as a utility hero pretty damn well. And they've already got something that can combo with it, which is the Lion. We've talked a lot about Lion. He's been all over the place throughout this tournament, and having those crowd controls is pretty darn important. Oracle is the big one that we haven't seen much. And I think we've seen a number of games where Oracle's made it to that second phase and then been banned out, but really not so many games where teams have opted to prioritize the Oracle early on. And with an Oracle Tusk, I'm assuming these are the 2 supports. Of course, Tusk could be that position 3 offlaner, try to get a little bit of farm, but these 2 have a lot of kill power roaming about. I mean, Tusk by himself has a lot of setup kill power with Snowball Ice Shards early on, but even just Fortune's End and Purifying Flames can be pretty darn potent in terms of trying to set up kills depending on who they grab in the mid lane here. SG Rejects now ban out the Death Prophet, followed by the Doombringer. We've seen so much of that greedy jungling Doom. In fact, the series we saw yesterday, in that best of 3 at least, was very much about the greedy junglers. Who has the 4 that can farm faster? And that was kind of the name of the game. Enigma versus Doom. Not only who can farm more, but who can also gank a bit more effectively and then recover. And that is something that Doom does damn well. Gets that jungle farm, working it out with his built-in Hand of Midas and the Devour, and then moving around with those boots first, setting up ganks with those with that Infernal Blade and the Scorcher. I almost said Purifying Flames, and that just wouldn't have made much sense. Gyrocopter now, the 3rd pick for the Dynamos, after banning out Juggernaut as well as the Witch Doctor. So a pretty standard carry here. I don't think there's anything too surprising about their team lineup. Not a huge amount of synergy across these heroes, aside from the fact that Tusk and Oracle are both good at peeling for the Gyrocopter. Not the most mobile carry. He can get locked down when people get up in his face. It can be a bit difficult, but they do have some tools to lock the enemy down. The Snowball is kind of like a mini shallow grave in a lot of ways. Gyro gets stuck in a rocky scenario. Tusk can come in, pop him in the Snowball, and then that can reset the fight for at least a couple seconds and keep Gyro alive. And sometimes that's a deal breaker. That just little bit is enough to get the Gyro to where he wants to be and turn the fight around. SG Rejects have the beginning of a good team fight lineup, and okay, they've got the team fight lineup now. Faceless Void, Enigma, Lion, 3 big cooldown ultis, at least in the initial levels. Of course, a lot of kill power, but we talked about this at length yesterday. Ease of execution is something you have to keep in mind when you're talking about a lineup like this. And now I think they just need big damage to dump into these ultimates. They've got the team fights, they've got the disables, now they need the damage. But they will have that greedy jungler. And it can be a boon as well as a bane. The position 4 Enigma can be great if left unchecked. You can really
Radiant
turbo
team
farm,
pick.
especially for those first 6 levels, get a fast mech, and set your team up to have a really good bout of pushing off that mech and all the Eidolons. The flip side, though, if things don't really go so well in your lanes, Enigma can't really do that much to rotate and try and support the lanes that are struggling. Kind of different from the Oracle and Tusk in that sense, that the complete opposite, where Tusk is the ultimate mobile force that can move around,
10
support the
seconds
Slardar,
remaining.
support the Gyrocopter. Enigma can't do that, and there's only so much of his personal
5
farm that he can
seconds
sacrifice. And he's also just not really built that way, given that one of his abilities is borderline useless when it
Reserve
comes to
time.
ganking, unless the Eidolons have already come out onto the field. But speaking of the devil, Slardar, another face that is not so familiar these days. That ugly fish going to be picked up here, and probably the off laner for the Dynamos. With Gyro in the safe lane, then we looking at whoever they want to put in the mid with their final pick. The offlane Slardar is, I think it's still okay. That hero got nerfed real hard with the ultimate vision. Of course, amplified damage now reveals invisibility, but it doesn't, just like track, it doesn't reveal the area around the target in that same manner. And basically ever since then, Slardar just went from bull to bitch, and now is pretty disappointingly picked up. Still can be pretty potent, though. I think one of the issues with Slardar is he's just too reliant on the Blink Dagger. He can be really annoying before that. He can survive with the slithering around, and he has a great AoE stun. But it's an offlaner that can't really afford to fall too far behind. He's not the best at flash farming. He's not the best at recovering if he gets completely zoned out in the laning stage. And it is possible to pretty much completely zone him out if he doesn't have a support. And I wonder if the Bangkok.Dynamos will do a 2-1-2 type setup, just so the Slardar is guaranteed some farm, so he's not completely zoned out of the lane, because it is pretty important. You know, offlaners these days have... the ones that have kind of risen to power are the ones that can recover a little more easily, that are oftentimes more reliant on gold, or pardon me, experience rather than gold, or ones that can utilize the new neutral camps near the ancients, where there's, you know, that sort of the enchantress style, if you will, that can make use of those creeps, find some extra farm. You know, Bat Rider, you know, Darkseer, for example, can put a lot of pressure on. Kind of unique in the context of an offlaner, if you compare like what a Darkseer can do and how much pressure he can apply while finding farm, compared to a Slardar, who's kind of just a big old clunky fish with a trident. Razor, though, for the SG Rejects, team's thinking about mid-bans, and it looks like the Dynamos take out Puck, thinking that they'll be needing a mid laner, and I think that's a good read. Off lane Void, safe lane Razor. Makes some sense here. This one kind of comes down to personal preference. I think Dynamo have a fair bit of disable already, and a big magical damage dealer is kind of what they're missing. They've already got quite a bit of physical damage with the Slardar, Gyro, Tusk. A lot of nice synergy there, but something to round this out. I don't think they need... Like, Puck could have been an okay pick, sort of a tempo controller, but something like a Queen of Pain...
reserve time.
You know, something like an Invoker or an OD if they were available. Of course, they've been banned out here. TA is a good band, though. It does synergize well with all the minus armor, though I don't know that our team from Bangkok here should go all in on physical. I think having a well-rounded spread is just a little bit better. Quap is the big one that's really coming to mind for me. They've already got some mobility with Tusk and Slardar, and that blink would be pretty good, though. They also most likely want somebody with a stun, somebody with an interrupt that can deal with this Enigma a little bit more from afar. A little surprised Bangkok.Dynamo didn't go for something like a Vengeful Spirit instead of the Oracle to deal with the Void. Really good hero against the Chronosphere, swapping people all around, stun from outside the Chrono. But perhaps Void is just not a hero that they're particularly scared of. That's also something that you can always have to keep in mind with these kind of matchups when it's two lesser-known teams that may not know each other so well. And, of course, I have no idea what Bangkok.Dynamo like to play. I don't know what is in their comfort zone here in terms of mid-picks. It's difficult to do research on these teams. They could pick something like Lena. Lena could actually be real good here.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, DOTs are good against Void with his recent changes, but Okay, so they will go the DOT route.
Radiant team pick.
But Dynamo are going to set these lanes up much different than I thought. And that is not the damage powerhouse that I was thinking. So somebody's a core that I assumed was a support. And it could be a core Jakiro. Could be like Gyro mid, off lane Slardar, Jakiro safe lane. Jakiro farms heavy, goes for a fast mech or a fast Yules. Very old school build, playstyle on that hero. But, hey, it can work.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Really kind of a strange last pick, if you ask me.
5 seconds
Ranger
remaining.
And Wind Ranger, the final pick for the SG Rejects. So this one, bit more standard. Nice damage to dump into the Chronosphere. I like the way SG Rejects kind of tried to balance this draft a little bit. They've got the big team fight ultimates, the Void or the Chrono and the Black Hole, of course, but Razor kind of the opposite. You know, not very cooldown reliant. His ultimate is fairly spammable, has high uptime. Razor can skirmish very early on, and so can the Wind Ranger. I think Ray will most likely go that farming build, you know, look for the Aghanims, maybe Mjolnir, into like Daedalus type build. May stop off for a Force Staff. But if he ends up going the carry route, Razor and Wind Ranger have more than enough damage with the Lion Finger to follow up on the Enigma Void.
5 seconds remaining.
I worry, though, that SG Rejects may fall a little bit too far behind in the laning stage, a bit too quickly. Whoops-a-daisy. So, yeah, apparently, from what I'm reading in Twitch chat here, the SG Rejects are possibly on their way out. All tagged up as stand-ins. Looks like the team may be reforming. Well, let them have it, Twitch chat. You know what to do. Well, let's check out the cosmetic game here. And it's looking pretty weak, boys. All right, Tusk has an uncommon set. That's something. Slardar. Oh, great. Dire Tide 2012. Good. Mikasa, what are you working with? Okay, Oracle doesn't have anything. Gyro. Nice. He's got a Trident as well. All right, pretty weak cosmetic game there, boys. Let's see. SGR, are you any better? Enigma? No. Void, you got to have something. All right. I can get behind this. Not my favorite Void set, but respect for at least having some Void items. Mixing and matching here. Viridius, Leggings, and Claw. He's got the Crab Claw. And the Mace of the Tentacular Time Lord. Oh, I remember that set. Ah, yes, a fine set indeed. It's the face with the tentacles, where the Zoidberg Void. All right, Lion. What do you got? Common. Uncommon? All right, sick uncommon set, bro. All right, now this Wind Ranger knows what's going on here. Look at this. This is a guy that knows his cosmetics. Well, that's not the Wind Ranger. Let's see here. There she is. Get out of the way, Enigma, you stupid bastard. Come on. I just want to look at the redhead. Oh, there she is. Look at that. I like that hairdo. I like this set, actually. I think she looks cool, man. I also think it's funny that her name is Rey, spelled different. I can't help but think about the most recent Star Wars movie. Get 'em, Rey. Oh, Han Solo, you're so old, but you're still in the movie. All right, enough's enough. Let's see what's going on in this game. It is a best of one, folks, and this is elimination. Winner take all, moving on to the next round, and loser heading home a little bit early with that tail between the legs. So here we go. 5 hero smoke from the Bangkok.Dynamos out of the gate. They are hungry. And they are glitchy. I don't know why their smoke is glitching out so much. I don't know if that's on my end or just on the game, but they will get a ward down here. Entryway into the Radiant Jungle. See where these supports are going to rotate. They may get some wards down to try and block out the Enigma. They're going to smoke again on top of their own ward, man. These guys are hungry for blood. Come on, Dog Brain. What a great handle. Dog Brain. You just got killed by dog brains, idiot. That's pretty demoralizing. Fading. I wonder if that's a drug reference. Don't worry, guys. I'm just fading out on the tusk. And, of course, we got Gus Gus here. And I knew a lady who, her cat was named Gus Gus. All right, here we go. They break the smoke right into Bocarino. Look out, Bocarino. He's going to be on the run, but Snowball coming on through. Goes through Minerva. Goes right on to Ray. Now Minerva gets initiated on. It's an easy first blood. And it's Oracle that gets the bonus gold for that one. Nice setup there from the team from Thailand.
That was my preferred.
Bounty runes. The top one gets denied, I guess. And the bottom one actually goes to the Wind Ranger. So, all right. I guess could be worse. Hate dogs. All right, so Bocarino going to be the offlane here. He'll be solo, and they're going to put the Wind Ranger mid. No big surprise on that. And Chains will be playing Razor with the Enigma in the jungle. So we'll see if Z-Red can keep tempo here. No camps blocked, just this ward, so they have an idea of where he's moving. And he should be able to farm just fine. The good kind of benchmark for or metric for how's the Enigma doing is the experience. If he's keeping up in levels for mid lane, he should be able to hit level 6 right around the time they do, if he's just farming as quickly as possible without any interruptions. So you can kind of use that to gauge how much pressure has been on the Enigma in the early game as the laning stage kind of unfolds. For the Dire lane setup, it will be that offlane Slardar we talked about, and for now they'll have both supports up top to keep Gus Gus safe. And I think we're quickly going to see these supports rotating about as they are zoning out Bocarino pretty effectively. But I don't think they need 3 heroes to do it. And as we talked about in the draft, securing at least a little bit of farm for Slardar is pretty paramount. They did not block the pole camp, so that'll be open here for the Radiant side to work at their heart's content. They actually didn't buy any sentries, so putting a block down there probably would have been pretty effective, at least in the first few minutes. Solo Tick, he's doing all right. Level 2, 4 last hits. I think that's more than the Slardar would hope for at this stage in the game. See him getting a little bit gully here on the Lion. Just letting Minerva know, like, hey, man, if you want a tango, I'm ready to fight. You got a stun. I've got a stun. Let's show the world what we've got, buddy. He's going to head down to this rune spawn where he's going to find the Enigma and not Fish's Wish there. Z-Red going to walk away. Oh, Slardar, man, he's slithering on in. He's thinking about a slithering crush, but it's, oh no, it's sprint. But he's not going to go for it. Now back towards the mid lane. Wind Ranger almost gets rotated on, fading on the Tusk, finds his level 2, gets those ice shards, and he does rotate over. Well, fairly quiet early game here. Both Gyro and Razor farming on point with one another. Basically in free farm heaven with melee offlaners leeching. I'm still curious what the plan is with this Jakiro exactly. Dogbrain is getting some okay farm here. Keeping up with the Wind Ranger, 9-3 compared to the 10-2. I think mech is just the play. You need somebody to get it in a pretty timely manner, and Jakiro's a good carrier for it. Yules is still damn good on Jakiro as well. I know it was nerfed a while ago. The range used to be completely broken on Jakiro. It was a free setup. You hit him into an ice path, and it's a setup from too far away. They nerfed the cast range on Yules, and that was part of why Jakiro started falling out of popularity. I think they made a couple of other tweaks to him. The hero does well in the mid game, especially if he gets farm early on. He just doesn't scale particularly well. And Macro Pyre is one of those weird spells that, yeah, it does a lot of damage, and it can be really useful in specific scenarios, but it's also pretty easy to deal with, all things considered. You know, if I had to choose between, like, dealing with a Quap and a Sonic Wave or a Jakiro and his Macro Pyre that does damage over time, I would be happy to deal with the Macro Pyre and just walk out of it, you know. But it's interesting nonetheless. I'm curious to see what item build he goes for and how they utilize this Jakiro, if there's some sort of specific timing for when they want to group up and start pushing. Z-Red going to walk right into it. Slardar waiting on the high ground, utilizing that ward. Gets him down to about half health, but doesn't have anybody to rotate over. And he'll just have to walk away, knowing that he helped poke the Enigma, but won't be able to get a kill. Unfortunately, his 2 supports that could have assisted in a death there were on the wrong side of the mountain. They still have their eyes set on Ray. Uh-oh, Solo Tick down bottom. Caught by the disables of Minerva. Chain stealing a lot of damage here. One more auto attack, he gets it. The TP coming in gets canceled. And that'll make it 1-1. Razor gets one up on the scoreboard here. Pops a salve right away. Now back to the mid lane. They're going to go in onto the Wind Ranger, and they'll find the kill. Snowball, Purifying Flames was not used, just the Fortune's End. They've got the damage. Dogbrain going for this kind of sieging-based build. 2 points in the Dual Breath, no Ice Path. This is the heavy damage build. Dual Breath does surprisingly good damage, especially if you put some point priority into it. See Bocarino get pushed back here. But of course you get the Liquid Fire for sieging and the Dual Breath, man. 40 damage over 5 seconds, 40 damage a second. It's pretty good. The slow is pretty nasty as well. 28% at level 1, scales up to 40 across the 4 skill points. That's a pretty significant slow. Oh, Gyro up top, my bad. He gets a solo kill on the Void. Just barely lives, but Gus dives it. Looks like he caught the Void without his time walk available. That one's pretty huge, actually. Gyro getting a kill is always good, but Void getting shut down is even better. Only 6 last hits on him. Getting zoned out. Basically solo by the Gyro. So that means the 2 supports for BKD can just roam around and put pressure on. Just like they are the Enigma right now. Snowball in with a Slardar inside. Ice Shards connect, but don't really block him out. Now the Slithering Crush is there. Do they have the damage to bring him down? I don't have no Orb of Venom on either hero. Shackle does not latch. Solo Tick looking for it. Slithering Crush is available. It connects. And Z-Red will die, but it's going to cost the Slardar his life. Now can Fading make it out? Eidolon's doing some extra damage. Fortune's End from downtown. And Fading will be okay. Now, while that was happening, there was a skirmish in the bottom lane. Looks like they were able to trade Lion for the Oracle. Gyro ends up falling to the Razor, and it's Chains that's the big breadwinner out of this long, drawn-out initiation that kind of extends the whole Radiant River. It's SGR that come out big there. We'll see how the gold graph updates. I don't think that's counting the Gyro kill.
Is under attack.
But Slardar definitely doing better than this Void. And almost level 6 as well. About a third of the way to the Blink Dagger. I guess you can't complain too much. 7 minutes in as an offlane Slardar. Razor going Phase Boot Drum. Nice early combative build. You'll be able to get involved in these fights sooner rather than later. Let's take a look at overall support levels here. And it is fairly even as it can be. The jungling Enigma does throw things off a little bit. He is level 6 compared to the level 3 Tusk. You would expect SGR to have an experience edge at this stage of the game, but perhaps a bit more than it should be. Uh-oh, Z-Red getting greedy in the enemy jungle. Walks right into Mikasa. There's the snowball from the Tusk. He'll use a black hole. Minerva on the way. Should be able to connect with an Earth Spike on 2. Mikasa will certainly fall, and maybe they can get Fading as well. Ice Shards block out the Enigma. Macro Pyre comes down, but Fading, I don't think he's getting away from this one. They've got the auto attacks, and it's a 2 for the other way. Now Gyro comes in to clean up. It looks like Dogbrain will bring down the Lion. Or will he? Shackle from the Wind Ranger. Buys him a little bit of time, but still dies to the burn. Now Chrono on 2. Call down connects as well, but it's not going to be enough to save Dogbrain. Bocarino dies to the Gyro, and Ray probably going to suffer a similar fate. Slardar comes in, Slithering Crush, and another long, drawn-out engagement does go the way of BKD as Gus gets a triple kill. It's a 3 for 4 overall, but Gyro surviving through all of it and doing huge damage there. Okay. Well, Razor gets his drums completed. And not the item build that I was thinking. Rushing the Veil on the Jakiro. Okay. Well, when you go for this build, the damage output is nuts, as we talked about. Dual Breath, Liquid Fire, and Macro Pyre. You can connect with all 3. It's huge damage over time, and the Veil of Discord is definitely good for that. Also just gives you a lot of good stats. Stats that Jakiro needs. 18 int does not hurt at all. That little bit of extra armor actually does go a long way. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, though, SGR will get a Tier 1 tower kill, utilizing the pushing prowess of the Enigma. Those baby Eidolons. He will be going for a mech, but this timing is not too solid. Just a headdress for now, Soul Ring boots. And he is close to the buckler, sitting on the courier right now, but still pretty far off the mech recipe itself. Gyrocopter. Seems like he'll go for a standard build as well. Phase into the Aquila and just an HOD. Get that creep. Stack your ancients. Pretty standard stuff. Tried and true, though. We've seen what happens when gyros get uncontested ancient stacks, and it ain't pretty if you're on the opposition. Oracle, almost level 6 as well. Going to TP mid. And it looks like BKD are thinking about a smoke. They sure are. What's the play here, boys? Are we heading bottom for Enigma, or are we heading mid for the Wind Ranger? And it looks like it'll be the former. Enigma better get the hell out of there. Now, this is a 5-on-1. Pretty sure Z-Red is not going to survive this one. All right, bold predictions come true occasionally. Now what do you do? Maybe turn this into a tower siege? SGR already have the advantage on that front, though. They've got 3 in the top lane. They're just chipping away at this bad boy. Glyph's already been used. And BKD not even going to commit to the push down here. Instead, they're just going to let the Gyro get the farm in the lane. You see him picking out the Ancients. That's Gyro saying, guys, start stacking these bad boys up.
Top tower has fallen.
He needs to take over a creep pronto. And yeah, there you go. He gets a range creep.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Lion rotating around in the mid lane here. Dog Brain. He gonna be in trouble. Malefice to get things started. There's the stun from Minerva. No finger yet. He's only level 5. Shakiro reasonably tanky. There's a black hole available. Z-Red uses it, but it's not going to be a kill. Snowball in, gets interrupted. And there's the chrono from Bocarino. They'll get at least 2. Tusk falls first. Down goes the Jakiro. They trade their Enigma, but the fight's not over yet. Slardar goes running in. He takes huge damage from the Razor off to the side. Gyro sets up the kill onto the Ray as well as Minerva, but now he's in pretty deep as well. Just like how last fight Gus was the winner, this one it's going to be Chains. Mega kill streak ended and gained simultaneously here as the Gyrocopter falls, and Big Daddy Chains is the winner. A 3 for 4 exchange, I believe. And this time the advantage goes to SGR. My God, these fights are complete and utter chaos. It's like in either side. Man. All right. Well, things still in favor of SGR. Not by too much, though. About 1,500 net worth, somewhere about 1,000 experience. Looks like BKD are feeling the pressure at this point. And they're starting to group up, and this is definitely coming at an experience cost. SGR are already ahead on that front because they've had the Enigma in the jungle, and they've been kind of split farming throughout the mid-game here. Slardar still doesn't have his blink. I mean, we are only 12 minutes in. But can't help but feel like it'd be better if he'd just go to lane and keep farming rather than try to force it in the team fights. They go in onto Minerva, though. Lion gets off the stun, has the finger, brings down Fading before he falls. And the call down won't be enough for the kill. Gus will live, compliments of the ult from Mikasa, but Chains brings him down. And just look how damn tanky this Razor is. The Purifying Flames are barely keeping him alive. Gus may fall first. If Chains can live here, it'll be huge, and he does. Now Dogbrain dies off to the side. They finally bring down the support line, but this is all SGR all day. A 1 for 4. There's Slardar, the only one that limps away. He finds an invisibility rune, and he still doesn't have gold for the Blink Dagger. And there you have it. About a 2K net worth swing. SGR finally gets some huge momentum. I can't believe that Razor survived. Feeling happy that he picked up that Sanj instead of the Yasha first right about now. 1,500 gold with a Bassi. I mean, he is one tanky mother at this stage of the game. Only 13 minutes in, he's not easy to bring down, and boy, did you feel it. Enigma finishes off that tier 1 tower mid, and that will make it 3-2 in total tower count. SGR taking the advantage there. How's Bocarino's farm? Looks like Vladimir's offering right around the corner. Actually just going to need a go with the courier, and he'll have it. So another great team fighting item for SGR, of course. And I reckon we'll see Bocarino just save up for that Blink Dagger coming up next. Pretty core on the faceless void of this type. Z-Red got himself the mech. And Lion got himself some arcane boots. Probably a blink dagger on the way for him as well. SGR, a pretty blink heavy team. This could easily be 4 blink daggers. Basically everybody except the Razor, I think. Alright, how's the item progression looking here? On both sides of the coin. Ag's about halfway there for the Wind Ranger. So Dire, finally the blinks come out for the Slardar. Slar. Slar it with a blink, my man. One thing that SGR are going to have to keep tabs on, though, is that Roche Pit. Because BKD certainly have an advantage on that front. The amplified damage is quite the potent tool when dealing with the big boy. And does make taking down Roche very easy if they can find a fight. Probably what they wanted to do if they could have taken some of these mid-game skirmishes. Gyrocopter going for Sanj and Yasha himself. I believe this is the beginnings of a Sanj here. He's got a nice stack of Ancients. Looks like 4-stack, quad stack here for the Gyrocopter. Getting some dividends from that HOD. No stacks here from SGR.
Top tower is under attack.
They don't really have the best team for clearing out Ancient stacks, at least not 15 minutes in. Bocarino down bottom. He's got his sights set. But won't go for it. No help nearby. All right, here we go. Ray initiated on in the mid. TP's on the way. Stun from Lion, though, will reset. But the snowball in deep. Catches Minerva with the ice shards, and the Lion will get left behind here. Fortune's End. Purifying Flames. Nope, still not Purifying Flames. It's just a Fortune's End. Those animations look too similar. All right, well, just a quick pick on the Lion. Can't complain about that. Did take a couple of TPs. Fairly hefty rotation from BKD, but still worth it. I think SGR is still happy to split farm around the map and wait for Bocarino to get the blink. He's about halfway there, and it's a pretty important item. Given that Enigma went for mech first, they don't have the best initiation power. Not a single blink dagger out yet. But Ray is super close to the Ags, about 400 gold off. Sanj, Yasha on the way. That Ancient stack giving Gyro a huge amount of farm. He's now #1 on net worth. A little bit surprised that SGR haven't warded this up at all, even to block it, or just get the intel by warding up top. Jakiro. Is this an Aghanim Scepter? Huh. Well, Dogbrain obviously not going for the build that I was talking about, the mech or the Yules. Point Booster is just a good value item to get on a hero like Jakiro. Give you some good stats. Buff up that mana pool and HP pool a little bit. But I think the Aghanim Scepter is a little bit underwhelming on this hero. It's kind of cool. 1800 range is a lot. We're going to hold that thought as Bocarino goes in. Chrono on 3. Soltic gets off to the side, but Z-Red's going to follow up. Black Hole on 3, but where's the damage? Chains on the low ground. They finally bring down the Oracle. They've already killed the Slardar, and it could be a disastrous fight for BKD. They've already lost 3. The Gyrocopter coming in, doing big split damage. They actually get 2. The Macropyre helps set it up. Now they go in on to Bocarino. Gus able to bring him down through the shackle. Compliments of that rocket barrage. What started as a clean fight for SGR ends up getting turned around. A 3 for 4. They might not even get Dogbrain here. I think he's just a little bit too tanky. We're going to take a look at that replay here in a moment, folks. That was a good one. Pick on the Lion. Can't complain about that. Hey, I don't want to hear myself. All right, so here we go. So it was a smoke rotation from SGR. They walk right into him. The Chrono connects on 3, but the Slardar just barely gets out in time, distracts all the damage dealers. They do a pretty good job not stacking the disables. They set it up, but the problem is Gus is the damage dealer. Literally everyone else on BKD is just kind of there and underfarmed. Gus is the one you got to worry about. Same with Dogbrain. They're holding all the farm, and you see how much they're able to do. Even with all of their teammates dead, they still turn it around, get 3 kills, and keep 1 alive. I think that's one of the more oppressive bits of that fight. Good stuff from both teams in that engagement, though. SGR showing that they've got some pretty good coordination. Chronosphere in a black hole like that is much easier said than done. And BKD showing us they've got a sign of life. That gyrocopter may actually be big enough to carry this game, pick up his team, put him on his back, and say, hey guys, don't worry. I've got a rocket ship. There's room for more. Now the Jakiro and the gyrocopter topping the net worth chart. And it's not an Aghanims. All right, well, I'm happy to see that. Is this an Octarine core? Can't imagine it's a Bloodstone. Jakiro with the core. What an interesting item build, man. I never would have thought about that.
Radiant's middle tower is
Partially
under
because I
attack.
would not have been confident in Jakiro's ability to farm it in a timely manner. An Octarine core is good on pretty much anyone if you can get it. 2-1 tower in the mid lane does fall in favor of BKD.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Bogarino, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, that's not what he wanted to do.
Dire's
Not
bottom
sure why he
tower
blew his
is
load
under
like
attack.
that. But that's okay. I'm sure some tissues will help him out. Gus, mid lane, finger of death coming on in. They might be able to find this kill. They've got a Hex, but Slardar with the counter initiation. A few more auto attacks, and he will be all right. Ult and purifying flames from the Oracle will keep him alive. Now they turn on to Z-Red. Snowball coming in. Minerva, he dies as well. Ray taking big damage. Shackle connects on fading. But is it going to be enough? It seems the answer is yes. Now Bocarino goes in. Bocarino, you don't have an ult, buddy. What are you doing? He uses the time dilation as well as the time walk. Still a lot of damage coming out, but it looks like BKD are on the back foot. Chains has now joined the party. The ult doing some work here. Eye of the Storm soften him up. Now Ray getting poked by Gus. Two fights breaking out here. Gus coming around the backside. Ice Path will be off the mark, but they've still got a lot of damage here. I'm not sure why SGR hanging around. Bocarino, no mana, half HP, just dancing in circles as they bring him down. There's 5 heroes there, bro. It's a 3-0 and another long, drawn-out fight. And BKD with another 2,500 net worth gain. They've just about leveled things out. That gold graph is going to update and look much more favorable for this Dire squad. If only they had a Chronosphere. Sorry, Void. I had to do it, man. I don't know what was going on there. That was also a really bad time for the Void to die. He would basically have his Blink Dagger now if he stayed alive there. And given he didn't have a Chrono, I think the play is just run away, bro. Get back to the well. Sacrifice that tier 2. Blink Dagger is so big when you're talking about a hero with that kind of AoE disable. Yep, there it is. We're back to 0, folks. BKD broke this game wide open. And we're seeing that difference in item progression now. Jakiro. All right, just going to go for a casual soul booster for now. Now back into the Yules. Gus, Chronosphere. Bocarino, you are one brave cookie. His team wasn't quite in position, but he gets a bash at the end. Oh my good gracious. Now Jakiro comes in. Ice Path will connect. Gyro pretty low on damage at this point. Shackle Shot could be devastating here, but can Ray get in position? BKD have reinforcements on the way. Shackle Shot does next to nothing. And Oracle will be there purifying. Holy crap. Purifying Flames will keep him alive. All right. Good stuff from this Dire squad. That's another Chronosphere down. And no kill rewarded. Gyrocopter still keeping up with his ancient stacks here. Doing a good job on that front. Looks like another at least 3 stack, if not 4 stack. They'll be able to clear this out. Sharing is caring, as they say. As Gyro pulls further and further ahead.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Gem up on the Lion. Enigma moving into a pipe, and he's actually got it. All right, Enigma going for this more defensive kind of sieging. I'm going to help the team build. I still think a Blink Dagger is warranted. I like the idea of going for a pipe here, even though there is a lot of physical damage. There is still some decent magic damage. And the pipe is also really good for sieging. You put the effect on the creeps.
Illusion.
And Jakiro can't just instantly clear them out. So it does make sieging high ground a little easier. Also a little bit surprised that BKD have not gone for Roshan yet. We talked about the dire advantage in this game on that front with the Slardar. And we'll see if they go for it. BKB, though, up on the gyrocopter. You thought he was hard to kill before. Well, good luck killing him now. Smoked by BKD. Is this a Roche? Or is this a gank? Dogbrain going straight for the bounty. Few fucks given here. There is a Yule Scepter up on the Jakiro. That has not been revealed yet. About 30% duration left on the smoke, and it looks like they're not going to find anyone. SGR seem a little bit suspicious here. All 5 missing off the map. Trickery may be afoot. They've got to smoke themselves. Maybe looking to smoke up here. Dire smoke about to expire. Gus in the front lines. They may just bait with this. All of the ultimates available for SGR. Lion is smoked up around the backside. They may have a go at Gus. Here we go. Bocarino. Oh, no. It's another whiff in the mid lane. He catches Mikasa. Soltic and Gus get caught by the black hole off to the side. Mikasa just somehow barely stays alive. They will bring down the Slardar. Now Mikasa falls as well. Bocarino. He gets brought down, but he made so much space that Chains was able to just clean it up. Despite the somewhat bad chrono. It's all SGR. I feel like I shouldn't flame this Void too hard. We're going to look at the replay and reassess the placement of that Chronosphere. Was it a whiff or was it tactical? Only time will tell. One thing's for damn sure, though. That Razor, well, he came out big. 4K net worth swing. He got 1,500 of it. All right, let's see what we're working with here. Some decent magic damage. Come on.
Dire's middle tower is
All right.
under attack.
So a little smoke on smoke action. So let's take a look here.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Roshan has
I want
fallen
to pause.
to the raid.
He's, of course, hoping to catch Mikasa and Gus. But I think in the end, it almost works out better that he doesn't catch both because he sets it up for Mikasa to do actually nothing. And that's the hero that has a chance to save all of the others, right? So, and with that, Gyro presses forward, and he tries to zone out those squishy supports. The Slardar comes with him, and then they realize, oh shit, there's 2 disables. So, inadvertently, Bocarino kind of breaks up that team fight, and if Gyro had been trapped in the chrono, I'm pretty sure that Slardar would not have ran in the way that he did to try and help the gyrocopter. I think it would have been a completely different proposition. So, Bocarino, my friend, I owe you an apology. I thought it was a bad chrono, and it probably was not on purpose. But it ended up being a big one, buddy. You broke up that team fight and secured a team wipe. A 1 for 5, a worthy sacrifice. Let's just have a moment of silence for the Faceless Wonder. Thank you, Void. Thank you for being you. No face, motherfucker. All right, Blink Dagger up on Fading. Item progression on both sides of the docket here. Mikasa almost has the mech. But this Wind Ranger is getting scary now. She has been pretty quiet this game overall. But Ags Crystallis, now an Aegis of the Immortal. Her damage output is pretty feisty. Great team fight items. Now a BKB up on Chains. Picked it up after that last fight, so still sitting on that 10-second charge.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Blink Dagger on Enigma. So a lot of big tools here for SGR to make these team fights happen.
Time is money.
So looking at this goal graph, man, things go right back to where they were and then some. SGR with the biggest lead we've seen so far in this match, about 7,500 net worth and experience. They are holding on to the Aegis and have about 3 minutes left on it. So still plenty of time to try to make some plays happen, but I think they should try to utilize this Aegis. Black Hole coming up in about 5 seconds. This is your time to fight, baby. If you've got an Aegis and all of your ultimates with a lineup like this, I think you rock and roll. They're pinging out Ray. They're like, come on, baby Ray, let's do it. That's a full Daedalus now on Wind Ranger. Whoo, hoo, hoo, hoo. What's the play here, SGR? Grouped up as 4 while Wind Ranger split pushes. And you can tell BKD don't really know either. They've got some vision around the area, around the Roche pit, that is. And they are ready to team fight. But this is kind of costly. Both teams just kind of standing by farming. Bocarino goes in, catches the Oracle again. Finger of Death. They're going to bring down Mikasa, and they will. Chains now pops the BKB, goes charging in as well. Black Hole from the Enigma. Isolates the Tusken, the Slardar, and it's a disastrous fight for BKD. Bocarino, man, he knows the target, and he got him. Oracle is the one they need to shut down, and it's the perfect way to start the fight. Great follow-up from Z-Red as well. BKD caught with their pants down, hand in the cookie jar. Another 3K net worth goes the way of SGR.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's bottom barracks are under attack.
Well, looking like the beginning of the end here for the Bangkok.Dynamo. Bottom lane of barracks will be destroyed off that successful fight. Aegis probably going to be reclaimed. They didn't even need to use it in that engagement. Still a minute left before Roche takes it back, but one lane of barracks up. SGR gets one step closer to securing a victory here and knocking BKD out of the tournament. About 12K net worth, 12K experience. That is the favor right now, and we should see some improvements in these inventories as they spend some of that hard-earned money. I'm still curious about that soul booster on the Jakiro. If it was meant to be an Octarine core, he could have picked it up already. I mean, Yules is really good on Jakiro. I don't fault him for buying the item. But soul booster is just kind of an odd choice. I like the idea of going for Octarine if you can get it, because it gives Jakiro a lot more utility. You're putting out more liquid fires. You can ice path every so often, or every more often, whatever the right articulation is. It buffs up his overall damage output a lot. But I feel like the soul booster is not really value. You know, like the point booster, it's good. 1,200 gold, doesn't delay your core item that much, and gives you some really good stats in the here and now. At this point in the game, the difference of Jakiro having a soul booster versus a point booster is pretty negligible. That extra HP, when is that ever the difference maker? You know, he's either stuck in a chrono and dies, or he gets away because he didn't get caught with the disables. You know, it's not like Jakiro's in the front line and, oh, golly, good thing I had that extra 250 HP, or I certainly would have died in that one. But the Octarine core opens up a lot more possibilities. I really think even just having Ice Path on a 25% lesser cooldown is really good. That's a lot of potential gain to disable that you can put out. So, and an odd item trajectory from the Jakiro. And I think they have more problems than just that, but it is one that stands out to me as particularly odd. Bocarino almost caught by the Slardar. My God. Time walk away. Will not get clipped by the stun. Ray, on the other hand, will get frozen. Will freezy freeze there. Popsicle. Dire vision. They don't see much. They know Ray's up on the high ground, and that's about it. Radiant, same story. They ain't seen a hell of a lot. And there's the core. Octarine picked up on Jackie. We'll see how this works out. 3 seconds on liquid fire. Pretty good uptime. All right, Dog Brain. Let's not get too excited now. Yule's Scepter, but here we go. It's Bocarino. He catches Mikasa again, but maybe they're more ready for it. Mikasa barely stays alive, but goes down. One last auto attack from Bocarino. He'll mitigate all the damage they put into him. Jakiro's dead already. The Octarine core not going to save him from that one. Gus pops the BKB. Solo Tick does what he can, but chains his BKB'd himself. They get the bash, and now the Slardar falls. It's a double for Bocarino, and they're not done yet. Gus getting dove by Ray. Come on, Ray. Get Cray. There's the snowball. It's going to reset things, but Tusk will snowball to his death. He's going to fade into the twisting nether as Chains continues his godlike streak. 15-0-8 on this Lightning Revenant. My God, Chains, you are a madman. You are a monster, a man among men. He has torn this team apart, and they are feeling the pain. Shiva's Guard completed. Tier 3 in the mid turned to rubble. And dare I say, this could be the end, and it is. GG's called. BKD exit the tournament here. Sorry, Thailand Dota fans around the world, but it is SGR on the back of Bocarino that take this best-of-1 elimination match. Wow. Pretty impressive game. Back and forth. All things considered, BKD played it pretty well. They do have 2 at least tagged stand-ins here. There was a moment where it seemed like they might be able to take the game. I still think that item build on the Jakiro was a little bit odd, Mid lane Jakiro, not one that's going to scale particularly well into the late game, so you got to go for items that give you an edge, give you some way to push towers, take an advantage early on. I think that's one of the reasons why Jakiro tends to be a good mech carrier. You can just grab it fast and then death ball around it, but instead they gave it to the Oracle and took him way too long to complete it. Overall, good performance still from SGR. If the rumor is true and they're breaking up, well, they've got another best of one to play before they kick the bucket. Overall, solid performance from them, good coordination, and well played by Bocarino. Had a misplay there in the mid game, but the last couple fights, he knew the right target, used the chrono on top of Mikasa pretty much every fight for the last 3, and that was the golden ticket for SGR to take a win. It was all on you, Void, and you did it. Good job, buddy. How did Razor only get 8 fantasy points? So just look at this. Razor, 15-0-8. 168 last hits, 550 GPM, 8.7 fantasy points. 3rd overall on his team. Okay. Enigma, 5-6-16, 450 GPM, almost 50% more fantasy points than the Razor. I call bullshit. Thank you for joining us, folks. I'm Zyori from moonducktv. That's our only match for today. So we're done. We've got more SEA Kappa coming up tomorrow. Hopefully you'll join us. Same place, same time. Take care.